dude, the Woz. He said, "You're the strangest man I've ever met." I said, "Well, who dressed you today?" And he gave me his business card, and I gave him mine, and I got the Woz card. And so my dad was a pastor, and he was a really cool dude. And he said, "I named you James because in the Bible, he's referred to as the son of thunder." I went, "Wow, I like that. It's like thunderstruck." And then he said this, and you need to hear this. He said, "The world will give you what you're willing to accept." And a lot of you don't realize who God made you to be. I pee a lot because I'm old, and I just did before I came up here, and I washed my hands, not because of Fauci, but because it's just good hygiene. He's as dumb as a bag of rocks. And so I always look at my fingers afterwards because I have a set of fingerprints that nobody has on planet Earth but me. Do you realize that God kissed your little baby fingers in your mother's womb before you were born to make sure that you knew that you were one of a kind? You're extraordinary, or you can be a normal toe-sucking puke and not have a life. It's really up to you. And today isn't about me, it is about you. And we all have a story. I have a story, you have a story, we all have a story. My guidance counselor in high school as a senior 2 weeks before graduation in the largest high school in the state said, "I looked at your SAT scores and you were not what we call college material." And then she drove a Mazda that was gross. If you bought a Mazda, it wasn't your dream car, I promise you. And she had a Mazda, and then she rented an apartment. And see, we all have a story. At 14, I was 6'6", hadn't grown an inch. And I was a roofer. I could make more money in one day than my dad did working all week. And I had a brand new car. I didn't have a loan on it. I had cash. And I met this guy at this construction site. He owned the subdivision, and I tapped on his window with my hammer with my shirt off. I had really long hair. And I said, "Would you show me what you know so I can end up like you?" I said, "I don't want to end up like those roofers up there that are doing drugs on your roof." He said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm your insurance policy, Holmes. I can show you to have roof leaks or not. You might want to show me some stuff." And he said something I can't repeat here, but it was kind of next level, and his name was Elmer Tremmel, kind of a weird name. But he showed me some things, and I bought a house as a teenage boy. And my guidance counselor rented an apartment. And she had a Mazda. The world will give you what you're willing to accept. And by the way, before I came on stage, let's see, watch this. Nick got his first property at 19. Watch this, with no arms and no legs. I don't love real estate. I love fast cars, Michelin restaurants. I love mission trips. I like helping people that are running on empty. Real estate pays for it. That's it. Game over. And it's about positioning yourself. And what's kind of wild is I always wanted little girls, so God gave me little boys. And I thought, geez, wouldn't it be great to have little girls? And I got 3 boys, and my first one came out 24 inches long and just kept coming. I thought, is there any end to this? And they handed me it. I hadn't named it yet, so it was it. So I'm looking at it. It's just really long. And no DNA test needed. And I looked at it, and I said, "You're the most beautiful little boy God ever created. When you grow up, you're going to do things that men only dream of because you are amazing." And he just gave me that Quaalude look like the lady over here on the 10th row. You know that look. And I said that to him over 10,000 times before he hit 3 years of age. You know why I did that? Words are prophecy. What you say will manifest itself in your life and the people around you and grow legs and walk you to success or drag you through broken glass. And that little boy at 3 years of age would walk around the house going, "Daddy, Daddy, I'm amazing." I said, "Yes, you are. Don't you ever forget it." And I just drilled it into his head, and I collect cars that you see on Mikomato auction and Barrett Jackson. I've had hundreds of cars, never had a Mazda. I pulled up here a while ago and I saw the parking area, and man, some of you need a new car, really. That Ford Escape. You need to escape it. So catch this. When that little boy would detail cars with me, I would make him do, he's a midget. He's just doing the low areas, the wheels and headlights and stuff, and I'd always give him $1 after working 4 hours, and I didn't pay my boys for sitting on their rear end doing nothing like some stupid parents do. Here's your allowance. You're teaching your child communism. So watch this. You don't work in my house, you get nothing. Have a nice day. And I made sure he knew I ripped him off. I wanted to be first employer to totally hose him. And so I said, that stupid $1 won't even buy you a good candy bar after working 4 hours. And then he would look at me like the lady over here. And then I taught him something they don't teach at big stupid universities in Virginia. Or Georgetown. Yeah, just strap in. I already warned you I was going to get you. So watch this. I showed him how money works. What do you mean? I said, son, that $1 I gave you, you save it or earn it on a monthly basis in real estate at a 5 cap. That money is $240 at the end of the year. $1 is $240. $10 is, watch this, $2,400, and $100 is $24,000, and 1,000 is $240,000, and 10,000 is $2.4 million. He was 3. Did he understand? Did you keep teaching him, or were you patient? What is love? Patient. Love is mercy. Love is kind. Love is forgiving. I just kept teaching him. By the time he's in the 3rd grade, he's smarter than the superintendent of schools. He's smarter than all his teachers. And that little boy ain't a little boy anymore. He's 6'8". He weighs 265 pounds. And he's rich beyond your wildest dreams. Who taught him? Some professor? No, the big dog taught the pup the path to follow. Come here, boy, sit. This is how you do it, baby. You gotta show your posture. Now watch this. That little boy, on my favorite declaration of the year is Easter and Good Friday. When you think of the suffering of my Lord and Savior on Good Friday, it should take your breath away. And so the week before Good Friday, he goes to New York City with his friends, and they dedicate a brand new church that they pay cash for, and it doesn't have a loan on it. First new church in New York City in 62 years. God paid for that. Real estate paid for it. And see, he's wealthier than you can fathom, but see, it's not the money he has. He's generous. He's kind. He's loving. And they drill aqua deep wells in Africa so that my beautiful African women are carrying these heavy fibers of water 8 miles to their village. And see, money magnifies you. When you die, we're all going to die. Isn't that refreshing? You're all going to croak. And when you die, you know what's going to happen? God's going to say, what'd you do with the hours I gave you? What'd you do with the life I gave you? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? See, you got to have a story. Or he'll hit a red button on his desk and maybe open up the floor for you and play with AC/DC. Highway to Hell for you, Holmes. Listen, watch this. It's about getting it on and doing stuff. And that's position. And people that have money, man, they want to save, protect, hedge, and grow. And people that don't want to grow, hedge, protect, and save. And it's just the opposite. And, in 5 years and 10 years, what do you want to do? Where do you want to be? A lot of you don't get where we are right now in our nation. There's a lot of division. Why? Because Satan divides, subtracts, and God magnifies and glorifies. I've said I've been on stage with all the presidents. If you notice, nobody had to walk me out here. I don't have a teleprompter up here. I asked the Holy Spirit to tell me what to say. This is live. And so watch this. You're in a period right now of accumulation, people, in case you hadn't connected the dots. Joseph, watch this, Joseph in the Bible was gorgeous. He was beautiful. His brothers were a bunch of jealous little pinheads. And their dad was like as blind as Helen Keller. And boom, they threw him in a pit. God rescued him. And God said, hey, I'm gonna have you work number 2 under Potiphar. And Potiphar's wife was a little hoe. And then he watched this. He stayed true to his mission. And God said, there's going to be years of feast and years of famine. You're in a period of time of accumulation, but a lot of you don't know what you don't know, and you just drink the Kool-Aid if some stupid football team wins. You're dumb enough to believe you won something. And you'll buy a jersey and walk around town with some other man's name on your back, pretending you're them, and none of them want to be you. Why don't you want to be them? Watch this. Some idiot asked me a while ago, are you going to watch the game tonight? I said, I am the game. Tonight, tomorrow night, the next night, the next night. I don't need to be entertained by a bunch of pinheads. And so watch this. Some of you are here today not because of you. You're already awesome. I saw your BMW and Mercedes out there. I saw your Genesis. I saw it. It's awesome. I'm so proud of you. You're an IT manager. You see, you're here today because maybe your daughter is going to get divorced in 8 years and her husband's going to rip her off and she's got 3 kids. And if you're not okay, you won't be able to be okay for her. And some of you will go to your annual exam and the doctor's going to say, I need to see you. It's an emergency. I need to see you as soon as possible. It's going to take your breath away. And by the way, the God of the Bible is still the God of today. And one of my friends got stage 4, just texted me 2 days ago that they can't find anything in me anymore. Maybe you should get on your knees a little more often and ask God for redemption and help. And this is the only overhead I didn't create, your stupid government did. And this one just shows you how much they print backed by nothing. Money. At the end of World War II, Marshall Plan, we became the world's reserve currency and we print money backed by nothing. And watch this, inflation. There was a president, FDR, that got rid of the gold standard, and then Nixon got rid of the silver standard, and that's when inflation really showed its head, but it happened so slow, it's like putting a frog in a pan of water and just slowly turning it up. It doesn't even know what it hit. And so that's what's happened to America. And watch this. There's some stuff going on. This is about 2 years and 2 months ago. There was a president in Washington, D.C., 11:30 at night. I'm sure he was asleep after eating ice cream. And what happened was his staff introduced Executive Order 14067. You can look it up if you want. And that introduces digital currency to the United States. And a lot of you don't even know what it is. And I love going to stupid universities and asking professors, can you explain it to me? And they give you that look. When you know the person doesn't know jack about donuts. And watch this. It's digital currency is all about surveillance. And there's a lot of things that will be happening you need to have knowledge of because knowledge will set you free. Education may neuter you. And it's about knowing what you need to know. And you heard a presentation earlier on the stock market, and here it goes back all the way to the 1800s to date. You've got the Great Depression up there. And then you have the dot-com blow up, you got the Great Recession, all that kind of stuff. And if you take all of the markets and line them up, that white line on that screen is where we are today. And, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But catch this, you need to position yourself correctly. And Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, just dumped $150 million of his own company stock, first time ever. 48 members of Congress just dumped their stock. I'm sure Pelosi could tell Paul what to do. And then watch this. 9 billionaires are dumping NVIDIA stock. Warren Buffett just dumped billions and billions of dollars of Bank of America stock. I wonder why he would do that. Because he knows. And it's knowing to do things correctly. And this guy on the screen right there is doing digital currency all over the world right now. He is like one of the main pushers of digital currency, Jamie Dimon is. And so you need to understand what's coming. And real estate is like door number 1 for wealth creation. There have been more millionaires created through real estate than any other single source. Real estate is real. That's how I got started. That's what Nick did. And then in looking at this, it's knowing how to do stuff correctly. And then the financial market, you heard presentation on that earlier, and then business. Oh man, business. This drives me crazy. Most people in Virginia will take financial advice from a Kia salesman when they go in to buy their Mazda or their Kia or whatever, their Ford. The salesman says, hey, I need to get your driver's license, and you, being a sheep, give it to them, and it's like, you give them your driver's license. And now the car or truck or SUV is titled in your name. And you bought it with, watch this, after-tax dollars. But if you set up a company, your company could buy your vehicle and pay for your gas and your batteries and your tires and your insurance and your toll passes. It could pay for it for you. Why do you need to own it? And see, people work really hard for other people, making their dreams come true so that once a year they can take a 2-week vacation. I've never had a vacation. I don't even know what one feels like. I take business trips. I go to the same place you go. But see, you're doing that with after-tax dollars that I'm doing with pre-tax dollars. And I love good food. Man, I love good food. And see, my company buys my meal tonight. And it'll be a good meal. I haven't decided where to go yet. Isn't that awesome? And see, once a year, I have to have an officer shareholders meeting, and I'm the only owner of the company, so every year I meet with myself. And I go, are you happy with me? Yes, I am. I really am happy with you. Could I get a bonus? Of course you can. It's like being bipolar. And some of you totally know that. So catch this. It's just knowing how to do stuff. And that is everything. And then our country's a bit of a mess. It's kind of crazy how we operate. And you know, a lot of us give our money to organizations, and you don't know the financial laws of the jungle, like the Rule of 78, Rule of 76. Car dealers know them, mortgage companies know them, and then banks know the Rule of 72. You give a bank your money and get a little savings account, they'll pay you 1%. One goes into 72 years, and then that's taxable state and federal. Now you're at 89 years. Add 89 years to your age, and you're dead. So why would you do that? That's why some banks have subliminal messaging, like Wells Fargo uses a stagecoach robbery just to show you. If you work there, whatever. I want to help you quit and do something different. It's knowing how to do. And then this is kind of wild. My dad was a pastor, as I mentioned earlier, and my dad was just such a cool guy. He spoke Latin and Hebrew, and my dad, he worked so hard his whole life. He was such a smart guy. For 43 years, he was a pastor. I made more money in a couple of weeks than he did in his entire life, but it's not about I'm better. I'm just honored to be his kid. And my dad loved to travel, but he didn't have any money, so he would get the National Stupid Geographic, and that's how he would travel through the pages of that stupid magazine. And I looked at it and go, this is gross. And I said, wouldn't it be better just to go there than look at it? So I would fly him all over the world, first class in a pod, put him in nice places. Money magnifies you. And he died at my house. And I cried like a baby. But I don't have any regrets. There's nothing I needed to do or say I hadn't done thousands and thousands of times. And I was blessed to have good parents. If you had bad parents, some of you did, forgive them. Any man can father a child. It takes a real man to be a dad. You know what I mean? It takes a real man to be a dad. And so it's just about getting it on and doing stuff. And we're coming back here. We're going to do 3 3-day classes on how to do real estate, not why to do real estate. And I know in a crowd this big, we got a bunch of real estate agents, and man, you're so awesome. You know everything. No, Alice, you actually don't. I've had my license longer than you've been alive. And when you analyze what you do, you schlep people around town showing them property, hoping you'll get a commission. That is not the way to do real estate. I want you to be a principal. And how are you going to deal with NAR, National Association of Realtors, the lawsuit you got hit with? You need to know the game to play. And so the class isn't going to be like why you should do real estate. It's how to do it. Because some of you in here, your credit blows. Some of you in here have an 800 FICO Beacon score, but you don't make enough money. Your debt-to-income ratio disqualifies you. And God puts people in front of me. That's why I'm here. I get to meet some really cool people. And watch this. I was in Houston, Texas When he spoke, 25,000 people there. Tony was there, the Orange Man was there, Kiyosaki was there, Susie Orman was there. And I got done, as I will here. I always go out in the crowd. Most of you won't come up to me because I scare you so bad. So I went out in the crowd. I'll do that today. This little Hispanic guy comes up to me and goes, Mr. James, I never heard nobody speak like nobody like you before. I said, I know, Holmes, I get it. He said, would you help me like that nice man helps you? I said, that's why I'm here today. I said, if you're the only person here, God bless you. I'm honored to meet you. He quit school in the 4th grade. He made $10 an hour, lived in an apartment with a total of 6 Hondurans, and the construction company was abusing him. And so I trained him. He said, could we have dinner tonight? I said, where do you want to go? He said, how about Taco Bell? I said, I haven't had cat food in a long time. He went to Taco Bell. You watch him squeeze that brown meat into your taco. Oh man, RFK and I have the same mojo. That will kill you. So watch this. It's not in my watch. I stayed there until we closed the restaurant down. They asked us to leave. Taco Bell. And now, watch this, he's one of my best friends. He's my worst student I've ever trained in my life. It took 2 years and 2 months of him here and every day. No, he'd make an offer, no. No. He heard no. See, I'm dyslexic. No looks like on to me, Holmes. And so watch this. I kept at it. I said, this works if you work. Don't lose hope, baby. So one day someone said yes, and then another one, and another one, and another one. And Freddie Mercury wrote a song for me, and another one bites the dust. We are the champions of the world. And so that little guy, watch this, with his 4th grade education, he bought a black Ferrari, brand new, and a red Porsche Carrera, brand new, and a nice monster house, and a Rolex, and started wearing shoes that were like, gross. Gucci shoes. I said, real men don't wear those. Seriously, you look like an elf. Get those off your feet. And then I said to him, I said, you know, the Lord has just kind of put on my heart, you need to get out of our country and go back to where you came from. And when you go there, you're going to do what I do, but you're going to do it in Spanish, and I'll come and help you. And we will show the people of South America so that women don't need to get in long lines and get raped, and that little children don't need to get sold into sex slavery, and we'll go help them. So Cartagena, Cancun, Mexico. I've been Medellin, all over the world. I was in Buenos Aires with him, and this little couple guys come up to me and they go, Mr. James, we have dinner with you tonight. And I said, what do you want to? And he said, because we saw Jesus Christ in you today. When people meet you, they need to feel like you care and you love them with all your heart. I don't care what color they are. When the lights are out, we're all the same color. And just be kind to people. And then God will open doors for you and magnify you and blow your doors off. And watch this. It's about doing stuff that you can do, and that's what the class is about. And then the reality check is that we got all these old women in our country that don't have any money. Their husbands pass, they play Candy Crush because they don't have anything to do. And then when they watch TV, they watch The View, which is like watching a toilet that won't flush. Approximately 100 million people that live paycheck to paycheck. They got more money left over than money to go around, and they don't know what they don't know, and they hang out with people that don't know what they don't know. And then men. Watch this, you get addicted to stupid stuff like playing fantasy, you're dumb as a bag of rocks football. And you'll spend 196 hours on average a year with your stupid little team. And if you spend 196 hours doing what I can show you to do, you can change your life. And no, I get my team. No, you're an idiot. Total moron. Okay? Now watch this. AC Nielsen's numbers show that after 1 year of marriage, the average married couple spends less than 60 seconds a day talking to each other eyeball to eyeball. The same couple will watch television 4 hours and 29 minutes a day. What you watching? Dancing with the Dorks? What you watching? Oh my God, you're my idol. What you watching? Masked Singer? That's the stupidest show I've ever seen. I'd take the Masked Singer deer hunting with Dick Cheney. Get it over. Watch this. The next time you men have to watch a game because you are addicted, get in front of your wife, get on your knees, get on your knees. Get on your knees in front of her, look her in the eyes, leave the TV on, put it on mute so that it's still playing. Because you are an addict. And then look her in the eyes and tell her 50 things she does that you can't imagine your life without her, and how appreciative you are of everything that she does for you. If you will do that, you won't know what happened in the first quarter, second quarter, halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter. You won't know who scored because in all probability, you just did. A lot of you didn't catch that because you're dead from the neck down, but Walgreens can help you in a massive way. So watch this. This is kind of crazy. And then we got people in here right now, your credit's bad. It's so bad it's out in front of this place smoking a cigarette. Wait for you to come out. And then we got people in here with all kinds of issues financially. God puts people in front of you. The men who pick up my trash, their skin is a lot darker than mine, but I love them. They're my brothers. And I went out and I gave them bottles of water while they're picking up my trash. I didn't even have a shirt on. And the driver said, nobody's ever given us water before. I said, I know most of my neighbors are toads. I said, it's nice to meet you. I said, you rent or own your own home? He said, I rent. I go, why do you rent? He said, listen to his words. Listen, because some of you live at this address. He said, I can't buy a house. I said, why can't you? He said, my credit's bad. I don't have any money. I said, I can get you a house in 90 days. I don't need your money or your credit. He said, you're the strangest man I've ever met. I said, awesome. Normal people blow. I said, watch this. I helped you get a house. Tuesday's garbage day. I could put a dead body in a zip bag next to my garbage. Take it away. What goes around comes around in my world and yours. The foreclosures. We're estimating there's going to be about 1 million foreclosures in the next 12 months. What causes them? Death, sickness, illness, job loss, job transfer, and divorce. You never get rid of those. Those will always be there. And catch this, some of you bought a house like 10, 15 years ago. You didn't have a lot of money to put down, so they put PMI insurance embedded in your high loan to value ratio loan. You signed your names to documents you didn't read. You know, they just like skin you like a rabbit, and you still don't know how bad they got you. And every month you're paying $100, $200, $300 a month for PMI insurance. Your house has now gone up $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 in value. You shouldn't be paying PMI insurance anymore. But since you don't know what you don't know, you'll just keep paying it. That's what chickens do. And you end up under a heat lamp at McDonald's as a chicken McNugget and you don't know how you got there. So watch this. If I took that same amount of money and applied it towards a principal reduction, you could pay your house off in years instead of decades. 3 degrees of vector, you'll end up in another solar system. All we want to do is weave a tapestry made out of Kevlar called your financial independence. So your money works for you, so you're not always working for it. And then watch this, there's software. It can show you where all these properties are. I live in a foreclosure. My son Ryan lives in a foreclosure. But see, some of you go, well, that means I need a computer. Duh. Well, I don't want computers. You have a 5-year-old granddaughter. Maybe you could pay her $1. She could pretty much help you. And then catch this. We have a lot of gorgeous women in this room right now, and I don't care how old you are, how much you weigh, what color you are. Beauty comes from your spirit inside you. There's a lot of attractive women that are ugly because they think they're hot stuff, J-Lo. Now watch this. Watch this. God made man first, then he fixed it. He came up with a better model. I now have 6 granddaughters, and I told my 3 sons the first male that ever dates one of my granddaughters had better be you. You better start at 2 years old. They're out of diapers. And you take them out on a monthly basis, and don't take them to stupid restaurants like Burger King. You take them to a place where you need reservations. And you got to dress appropriately to get in there. You see, if you don't want to spend time with your daughter, I promise you some punk will be more than happy to invest his time with your daughter. Where you spend your time is who you are and where you're going and how you're going to get there. I just want to show you how to play, and watch this. The mistakes that people make, numero uno, is having one source of income you don't control. Who agrees with me with that? Well, there's a guy named Warren Buffett that said a job is not the way to get ahead in our country. And I'm not anti-employer. God bless our companies, but your money needs to work for you aggressively as well. And then having lazy money and taking advice from people that are 6 clicks left of stupid. I mean, I have a sister, I would never ask her for her advice. I love her, but she doesn't know jack. And you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So that's the truth. And catch this. The best offense is a defense that just shuts it down. And understanding the tax code. And a lot of you get processed, just like Tyson's kills chickens when you do your taxes. And you don't know what you don't know. Some of you own property, but your accountant has never done cost segregation. You don't even know what I'm talking about. And once you know what you don't know, you can go back and amend your taxes and get a refund back on stuff that you've already overpaid. But they don't want to do the work. I can show you how to get it done. And then this is huge. Positioning. Sometimes people say, how does your son, because I know after you get 10 mortgages, people don't want to loan you money anymore. How does he do that? It's knowing how to put a deal together so that it's not your credit that does it, but you could have a non-recourse loan. And a non-recourse doesn't recourse to you, it recourses to your business and the property. But it's just everything you don't know. And then improve your credit, position a good retirement program. That is everything. You got to get involved. This is one of my best friends. He's my brother from another mother, Les Brown. Les is more. Les, watch this.
TV show host.
This sweet man flunked elementary school multiple times. He doesn't know who his dad is. Isn't that wild? And then catch this, his mother cleaned houses for people. And they're from Palm Beach, Florida, Palm Beach County, Florida. And he got a job as a janitor at a radio station in Chicago, and the DJ came in drunk on a Saturday night and dropping bombs you can't say. And they cut his mic and said, let's get in there. Just do the best you can. It's a 4-hour set. He went in and crushed it. His voice sounds like Barry White. He crushed it. Then people heard him, and he started getting speaking gigs, and he bought a brand new Cadillac at the airport when he flew into Palm Beach, Florida, and picked his mom up and said, Mom, I bought you this car. I love you. I always told you I was going to get you a new car, and I was going to get you a new house. He drove over to one of the houses she used to clean. Semicircle driveway, nice house. Goes up to the front door with a set of keys and opens it and said, Mom, I got you this house. She goes, I used to clean it. He said, oh, you still are. It's the house. It's the house. I love that. Money magnifies who you already are. You're not taking it with you. You want to weave beautiful stories of redemption and love and peace to other people, because that's what life is all about. And Les Brown says, if you do what in life is easy like nothing, your life will be hard. And if you do what is hard, like learn a skill you don't have, your life could be easy. And real estate is food, water, and shelter, the components we all need. And it can make money for you in large lump sums, like get a big bonus. I love bonuses. But see, I'm unemployable. Nobody would hire me. Why did they put me on the afternoon? Because I don't want to get up early. That's your answer. And watch this. Have you figured out I'm different than the other speakers? A lot different. And then they'll say this, but you could do the morning. I go, nah, the early bird gets the worm. I don't eat worms. I don't do that. It's just sick. And then catch this. One of my students from North Carolina called me and said, could you help us? And I said, where do you guys live? Lumberton. So I go, yeah, I can help you. So I went down there, helped them. And I said, what's going on here that a dude like me would be interested in? They said, well, there's a rumor that this guy's having a hard time. And I said, what's his name? They gave me his name. I met with him. I bought 3 acres at exit 22. You can Google Earth it while I'm talking to you. At exit 22 on I-95. Ever heard of I-95? I don't live in North Carolina. Am I moving there? Lumberton's like children of the corn. And so I got the 3 acres right next to the Honda dealership, Google it. And I sold it to Outback Steakhouse, headquartered at 1000 West Shore Boulevard, Tampa, Florida, and I don't live there either. Have a nice day. And so watch this. And then that money was more than if I was a school teacher working for decades on one stupid property. And then a dude calls me, he said, hey, could you help me? I'm in Longview, Texas, another town like children of the corn. And so I go, what's going on there? After I helped him, he said, there's a rumor Super Walmart's coming, but nobody can find it. I said, I can find it in 30 minutes. Sit back and eat some popcorn. I found it. I bought 3 acres across the street, sold it to the franchisee of Marriott, and then about 54 acres next to it, and I'm closing on it in days, and I don't own it. My self-directed retirement program owns it. Have a nice day. When the student is ready, the master appears, and the world will give you what you're willing to accept. And so you can do things. And there are 3 kinds of real estate: low income, middle income, and upper income. Richmond has a hood. I've been there, Holmes. Why do they call it the hood? They erase the word neighbor, and and when people are poor in the Bible, my God Almighty wrote a little thing in there that said, the poor will always be with you. You ain't getting rid of them, Gomez. And so here's what I do. The government, being the government, will give them a Section 8 voucher. I take it and apply towards the purchase price, and if they stay in the house for 180 months, which is 15 years, I mean, you could have gone to Virginia Tech, I'm just helping you with this. For 15 years, I give them the deed to the house, and I pay no recapture tax. No recapture tax. So watch this, it's just having knowledge to know how to turn it back into a neighborhood. And when people go to prisons in a crowd this big, we gotta have at least 30 convicted felons. Come on, Holmes. For sure, I speak in prisons. I love felons. By the way, all of the disciples were convicted felons, except for one who hung himself. And watch this, and then Jesus was caught up in a sham trial. Have we ever seen any of those? Of course we have. And so watch this. When you see this, there's so many things. Why did you even mention felons? Because listen, brother, listen, sister, I don't care what you've done, I care who you want to be. It doesn't matter to me. I believe in redemption and forgiveness, and I want to help you and love you and get you there. And when people get out of prison, they got to go to a halfway house. I can get a house in the hood that's a halfway house, and you can make more money off of it than in a nice neighborhood. And if somebody bothers me, I just call their parole officer and have them picked up, put back in prison. It's a pretty instant process. And then watch this, I love this one. My dad had a sister named Gladys, and she had a daughter named Georgianne. She's my first cousin. She has red hair and green eyes. She's gorgeous, but she's Down syndrome, special needs. And I love her. She's smarter than most professors in Virginia. Why'd you say that? Her IQ is 75. Why'd you say that? Because when I talk to her, she's real. And I say, do you believe in Jesus? Do you know what she says? Yes, I believe in Jesus. I love Jesus. I talk to Jesus all day long. I love Jesus. Are you happy, Georgianne? I'm very happy. I talk to Jesus all day long, and a beautiful smile. And she spits on me a lot because she's like walking into a rainforest. It's just awesome. Why did you mention her? Because see, in a middle-income neighborhood, if you have rental property, that's where you want it. But you could also, in a middle-income area, do you realize that special needs children grow up, and as soon as they hit 18, they become the award of the state? They got to feed them, clothe them, house them. I can get a house in a middle-income neighborhood, turn it into special needs, and there'll be no wild sex parties, no coke, there'll be no marijuana, no beer parties. It's just helping a sweet woman like my aunt know that her little girl's going to be okay. And you're the solution to the problem. You can make money off of that. I'll make more money off of that house than you will some high-end house somewhere. And I love that. And by the way, the people in neighborhoods with perfect teeth and beautiful cars and stuff, that's where I live. And when my dad died, my mom said, please don't put me in a nursing home. I said, you better be real nice to me, Mama. You better be real nice. It shows you're not funny. See, I want my mom close enough I can walk to see her, but too far for her to walk to see me. control. So in a nice big box house, I could turn it into assisted living care, make more money off a bedroom than you can a whole stupid rental house. And they're just so kind and appreciative, and it's just, you can feel the love of God in the place. I'll dig that. And have you seen those ads running all over Virginia? Have you been hurt or injured? Are you upset? You weren't breastfed enough as a child? We'll sue your mother. And they're running these ads. We want to make sure you're protecting insurance on your stupid Mazda, but we want you to protect your assets. And we show you how to do that at the class. So turn you into a porcupine. And then how to pay unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, your tax, but don't pay more than you should. And the impact classes are a lot of fun. I'll be at your class, so if I'm bothering you now, your head will explode at the class, I promise you. If you're a fruit cup, it's okay, babe. We're going to turn you into a fruit salad. We want to make sure that you at least have a game plan for you and your family moving forward, and so that you can have multiple sources of income, not one you don't control, but all you do. And this is one of my favorite slides because everybody needs to have a self-directed retirement program, in my opinion. You got a 401k at work you don't control? You need a self-directed. Do you know that you could have a Roth 401k program that allows you to put up to $70,000 max a year if you're under 59 and a half? And a lot of people don't know what they don't know, and it can come with a checking account. So you can write checks, and the check you write is not a withdrawal, it's an expense of the investment in your retirement program. A lot of vector change can get you where you need to go financially and position you. You can also have a Roth IRA, you can have an IRA, you can have a SEP, you can have a KEO. Watch this, you can have a self-directed pension fund. You can also have a self-directed educational IRA for your grandkids or kids once they're 18 years of age or younger, so they can get knowledge. It doesn't even have to go to a university. They could go to Embry-Riddle and learn how to fly planes. They could be a dive master like I am and learn to scuba dive at night. That's fun. And then catch this. This is awesome. There's two good reasons to go into debt. One is for knowledge. Number two is for an investment that will yield you more than the interest you pay. And then I love this. Here's some sources of deals and bargains up here. Foreclosure. They could add a verse to the Bible. Foreclosure will always be with you. And then probate. Most people don't do good estate plans. And I work with probate lawyers because they want to get paid. And then DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency. I love it when people get busted, because I can go to the auction and get stuff, lots of stuff, including real estate. But see, the DEA doesn't run their auctions. If you don't know who does, you'll never go. And it's just having the knowledge. And this is for me, watch this, this helps me. If you ever served in our military, or you're currently in the military, or you're a first responder, or a Gold Star family member, would you stand up real quick so we can say we love you? Just stand up. That we are free to be here today as these gorgeous, beautiful people stood up for all of us. And they have friends that cannot stand up anymore because they're already buried at Arlington National Cemetery. And let me tell you something, if any of your family members ever served in Vietnam, this is personal to me. Tell them this crazy man today, you don't even know his name because they didn't advertise him, said, "Welcome home, soldier," and Jane Fonda is disgusting with me. Here's the process for foreclosure. Here it is in Virginia. Here's a property that I picked up out of foreclosure, built in 1968 with cottage cheese on the ceiling, 8-foot ceilings. It's got, watch this, a Harvest Gold, 4 bathrooms, Harvest Gold. That's great. You don't have to flush as often. And then it's got black mold. I love black mold. It's like caviar. I love black mold. Cat urine everywhere. I love cat urine. It smells like money. Most realtors will run in and run out because they can't handle the smell. I love it. See, I don't see what is, I see what will be on property and people. I didn't do any of the work. Nick doesn't do any of the work. I don't either. I got no calluses on these puppies. And watch this. This house got redone. Backyard's like this. Now you got options. What are they? You can flip it and make a mother load, or you can move in and call it your home. Or you could do it in your, watch this, your Roth 401k. I love that. Or you can do it in your grandkids or kids' educational IRA, and now they don't have to get a stupid student loan that they'll never get rid of. And it's just knowing what to do and how to do and where to do. And this is my son Ryan's first real estate deal he ever did in 2009. This is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He doesn't live in Tennessee. He's gonna move to Tennessee. This is just a stupid property. What is this called? This is affordable housing. What's cool about this story? He didn't use any of his own money. Some of you don't have any money. So you gotta know how to put stuff together if you don't have it, because oftentimes you'll get blown off. And so this stupid property right here, when he closed on it, brought in around 10 grand a month. He still has it. It's now bringing in over 20 grand a month. Do you realize that's more than, watch this, school teachers make? And it's one stupid property. He doesn't even live there. And it's just knowing how so you can actually game it. Here's a bunch of companies you all seen. There's a bunch of stupid companies in the United States, a bunch of them. Like Dick's Sporting Goods. You know, they made a bad decision. Cracker Barrel decided to get political. That was a mistake. Target, are you kidding me? I mean, Target decided to go full on. It's a bad decision. So watch this. In the city I live in, there's a company called Gold's Gym, and they went out of business on a 6-lane highway. 2-story freight elevator, monster property. They go out of business. And I calculated that about 16 million cars drove by it while they were going out of business, and one of my dudes picks it up, turns it into a climate-controlled storage facility, and at a 5 cap, it's probably bringing in about 100 grand a month with a value of probably 32 million on one stupid property. And now you would have the time, money that it builds and creates so that you can do things to bless the lives of other people. And that ugly looking medical symbol up there is not a medical symbol, that's Airbnb. And I had a little sweet Hispanic couple I trained, and they said, we don't have any money. We don't even have any credit. I said, all you gotta do is do a long-term rent, 5-year rental. They did it in Fort Lauderdale, 2 blocks from the ocean, and they turned it into an Airbnb. You don't even have to own the stupid property. And so it's just knowing how to do things to get the income coming in so you can change your destiny. Last week, a guy came up to me, and here's what he said. He said, I met you 5 years ago. I'm from Honduras. He said, watch this. He said, I now have 27 properties. He said, I love you, James. I said, I love you, brother. I'm so happy that you're here. And so that's why I do this. I don't care where you are now. I care where you want to be in the future. And so in 5 years, in 10 years, what do you want to have happen to you? And then our goal is to show you how to save at least, or make at least $10,000 off of what you're already doing. That's pretty much simple. That is not hard to do. And my son Ryan went into Cheesecake Factory at 9:30 at night, dressed like a schmuck like me. He was already worth over $10 million. He goes in there and he asks his waitress, I taught my boys, get off your stupid cell phone when you go into a restaurant. Ask the waiter, ask the waitress their name, repeat it back, and say, thank you for taking care of me tonight. So he did that. She said, my name is Jamie. He said, you enjoy working here? She said, no, my father abandoned me and my brothers and my mom, and I work here to help keep a family together. And man, he looked at her and he said, so are you going to school? She said, I'm getting a degree in economics and finance. And Ryan laughed. He said, my dad has a degree in economics and finance, and his stupid guidance counselor in high school thought he was stupid. And then he said this, if we could have coffee in a couple days, I could show you some things that would really change your life. They had coffee. He married Jamie. It's my daughter-in-law. Mother of 4 of my kids. The waitress, she's not a stupid waitress. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, got in a gross car, a Prius. The grossest car I've ever been in my life is a Prius. It's worse than any Mazda. And I'm in an Uber, backseated of an Uber, and it's just like, if you have teenagers, buy them a Prius. Nothing can happen in the backseat of that car. And the lady driving, I said to her, I said, do you enjoy driving for Uber? She said, no, my husband took all my money and we lost everything we had, and I'm working here just to try to get my life together so I can get a house because I'm renting a room right now. I said, lady, God put me in your car. That's why I'm here. She pulled over on 85. I don't live in Atlanta. And see, when the student is ready, the master appears. And so, watch this. I want you to glow red to everybody that meets you. I mean, I hear this all the time. I've never met anybody like you. Normal people glow. I don't want to be like everybody else. And why is red my favorite color? It's the color of Good Friday, people. It's Jesus Christ's blood that flowed out for you. And if you're an atheist, or you think we're a bunch of freaks, you got time, babe. You got time, because once you die, the founder of Satan Church in America on his deathbed said, I've made a huge mistake. Gandhi on his deathbed said, I am not the way. So you can get over your intellectual property and just get on your knees and ask for forgiveness. And that's why I'm here today. If that bothers you, go home and lick your television and watch CNN, because there's no hope for you anyway. So enjoy your life. And I want the American dream to just come alive for you. The American dream means you can go where you want, when you want, how you want, say what you want, be what you want, do what you want, do mission trips. El Salvador, the president of El Salvador, contacted Nick and said, we would really love to have you come to El Salvador and do a crusade. Nick said, could you go with me? I said, we'll light him up, Holmes. I'm the son of thunder. We'll get it on. Yes, sir. We'll go. And so watch this. Doors will open for you if you'll get out of your own way and get off your butt. Some of you look like your underwear's collapsed 9 sizes since I came out here. Let your cheeks go. It's going to be okay. So watch this. We want to show you how to create wealth. We want to show you how to grow wealth, protect the wealth you grow, love everybody that God puts in front of you. And this handsome man on the screen, I've done 150 shows with him. His name is Zig Ziglar, and Zig is from Mississippi. My mama's from Mississippi. And when I'd go visit my grandparents in Magnolia, Mississippi, they didn't have running water, and they had an outhouse with a Sears catalog for toilet paper. And they had a pump. And the only way to get water out of the pump is you got to prime the pump. And so to prime the pump, you got to pour water in. That's all right. This place is filthy. And prime the pump. And if you work really hard after priming the pump, wow, you'll have more water than you can drink. More water than you can bathe in. And so Zig, at all of his shows, he would have a chrome water pump, and he would do that as his analogy. People, dear God Almighty, prime your pump, work hard. You have to work hard to get the water, but after you work hard with little to no energy, you'll have more water than you can consume. And when he died, his wife Jean contacted me and said, you know, we loved you. I go, I love you, Jean. And I love my brother. He's with Jesus. She said, please come to the funeral. I want you to sit with the family. And I did. There were 5,000 people there. So just before the service started, I went up to the casket and I started pumping the pump. It was next to the casket, and all the Sadducees and Pharisees and fruit cups and buttercups and dorks. Just mortified. I didn't care. God wanted me to do it. Zig would ask me to do it, and I did it. And so watch this. We just want to show you how to get it on. And Zig says this. You don't have to be great to get started, but if you ever want to be great, you've got to get started. You're in a period of accumulation in America. Get out of your own way and embrace it, because it's here. You just got to get on board. This is my favorite overhead because I'm almost done. And what's cool about this is the classes we're going to have, there are 3 different 3-day classes. I'll be at all your classes. And, you know, we just want you to get there. The classes are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if you're worried about missing Sunday service, God will be there as he is here right now. And this class isn't a bunch of why stupid stuff. It's how to do stuff. It's how to get it on and do things you may not know how to do. And the class is $97 for you and whoever you want to bring with you. Don't meet up with somebody in the bathroom and go, will you go with me? Because then, you know, that's just, I mean, the highway to hell for sure for that. And what's cool about the class is when you go, it's a really good starting place to like knock it out of the ballpark. Joe said for me to tell you that if I offended you in any way at the class, that you can get 100% of your money back. So if you're a buttercup and I say something you can't handle, all you got to do is call the 800 number. It doesn't go to Bangladesh, where somebody will say, my name is Bob, and you know their name is not Bob. So we'll give you 100% of your money back, and instant answer on the phone. This is kind of cool. I need you to pay attention to this for a minute. So if you enrolled in the stock class, a financial class today, you got one of these, a yellow form, your receipt. If you show these people here in the back wherever your yellow form, you have to enroll to go to the real estate class. But if you show them this form, Joe told me to tell you that he will let you go to the real estate class for free. For free. For free. For free. So you can leave your credit card in your wallet or your purse, whatever. But you do have to register. And then listen carefully to this. If you did not enroll in the financial class, the stock class this morning, if you enroll in the real estate class, they will give you the stock class for free. And you can go to that one, and there's no expense. So you get, watch this, you get 6 days of training for one person, 12 days of training all in all, for less than a Taco Bell. I mean, I think that's pretty good, and this won't kill you. And I love that. So I love it. It's 97 bucks. That is certainly affordable. And then for 25 people of you randomly will be selected for a photo op with Kelly McEnany, Tim Tebow, or Willie, and that will be just random. I just want to say to all of you, I love all of you guys in here. I want all of you to succeed and do well. May God bless